Grammar Lesson 19. Let's learn the past tense of the modal verbs. Can't. And the past, couldn't. I'm sorry I couldn't come yesterday because I was feeling really sick. But we can also say can't have. He can't have done that. This means you really cannot believe it. Okay, he can't have done that. He couldn't have done that. It's a little bit different meaning. Must and the past, must have. He must have been there. I'm totally sure that he was there, so he must have been there. Needn't and the past, needn't have. You needn't have studied so hard. This means it really wasn't so necessary. It was pointless to do that. May and the past, may have. He may have paid it, which means probably or maybe he paid it. And very similar is might. And the past, might have. She might have lied to you. Maybe, probably, she lied to you. Should and the past, should have. You should have seen it, but you didn't. Would and the past, would have. He would have helped me, but he didn't, because he had his reasons. And could and the past, could have. I could have studied medicine, but I didn't. We very often contract should have, could have, and would have to should have, could have, would have. You should have called me. There are many other verbs that have similar meaning, and we use them very often to kind of substitute or replace the modal verbs. So instead of you should have told me, you can very often say you were supposed to tell me. But the meaning is slightly different, but sometimes similar. So be supposed to means like it is expected. How am I supposed to know that? Why do you expect that I would know that? Have to means like to be obliged to or obligated to. You don't have to tell me. It's not your obligation to tell me. Or need to. You have a need. I need to see you. Or be allowed to means like to be permitted to do something. You're not allowed to smoke here. Be able to have the ability or to be capable of doing something or to have the capacity to do something. We are not able to help you. We don't have the capacity to help you. the past perfect tense. We have already learned the present perfect tense. Where have you been? I have been learning English for 20 years. Have you already paid that? This is something coming from the past to the present. But the past perfect tense is something coming from the past, but finishing somewhere in the past. Let me show you an example. I met Peter yesterday. It was a great meeting because we hadn't seen each other for 20 years. So I met Peter yesterday means the past. It was a great moment with him. We had really good fun. Everything is the past. But then you want to tell someone that you hadn't seen him for 20 years before that moment. So you need to get to the moment before the past, before yesterday, because you met him yesterday. So you hadn't seen him for 20 years before that moment, which happened yesterday. And the other example. By the time I got there, the movie had finished. So I got there, this is the past, but the movie had finished even before that. I arrived at the party at 10 p.m., okay? That's the past. And they had eaten everything before that. This was the past perfect simple. And the past perfect continuous wants to tell you that something was in the process before the moment in the past. I had been driving for 12 hours before I got to the most beautiful beach in the world. So you're telling a story and you want to show us that this is very important to tell you that, I had been driving, it was really tiring. So I had been driving before I got to this beautiful beach. So I got to this beautiful beach. I was totally tired from that driving before. But the beach was so beautiful. I spent a beautiful day there. Everything is the past, but I had been driving is the past perfect continuous. And we use this tense in many situations. So let's proceed to the conditionals. We have already learned the zero and the first and the second conditional, but now we get to the past, which is the third conditional, and here we will use the past perfect. If you had told me, I would have done something about that. So we need the past of would, which is would have, as we actually have already learned. So we would have helped you, I would have helped you if you had told me before that. And the mixed conditional is the mixture of the past. If you had taken the pills in the morning, if you had called me, if you had done it, okay, this is the past. But then the mixture comes because there is no past, but there is present simple. If you had taken the pills in the morning, you wouldn't be in such pain right now. If you had called me for help, you wouldn't be in such trouble right now. Everything would be all right because I would have helped you. But now we cannot do anything about it. Let's revise all the conditionals together now. zero conditional. If you put ice on the sun, it melts. The first conditional. If I win, I will give you 20%. The second conditional. If I won, I would give you 20%. And for the past, the third conditional. If I had won, I would have given you 20%. And the mixed conditional. If I had won, I would be rich now. But I didn't win. And then we have wish clauses. For the present and for the future, we use wish plus past. I wish you were here now. You know, the party is so boring without you. But for the past, we say, I wish you had been there yesterday. It was great fun. The party was really great. I wish you had been there.